Righty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again with another very fun activity in the Wuthering Waves space. And that is going to be dispelling a massive amount of information from the Hoyoverse community. Because we've got a post over here, and I just want you to really focus on A, the name of the person making it, of course, and their profile picture. We got Innocent Dao Sui. You're not going to think they're very innocent after you see the wording that they're using over here. I do Genshin giveaway. You probably already know where this is going. They've also got a write-in profile picture and a post history where all you clearly really see, right, is Genshin Impact. But they have some news regarding Wuthering Waves. They have some updates regarding Wuthering Waves, right? Let's have a bit of a conversation. As a person who grew up using infinite Tencent products, I can only say good luck to the future for Wuthering Waves. There's a reason why I didn't try WuWa, because I wouldn't play a game that's deeply bound with Tencent, aka an ultimate money-chasing routine machine, right? So this is clearly a post over here that's doom posting Wuthering Waves because of an apparent acquisition or like publishing thing that's like going on, right? Let's take a look over here. Kuro Games loses publishing rights for Wuthering Waves CN to Tencent. 3.1 is not doing as well as they promised, it seems. So they just posted a game over here, showed that it shows Kuro Games, Tencent, but it appears there's a bit of a community note. Let's read this. The screenshot is from the CN App Store, and Tencent is commonly seen in apps and games that Tencent owns or is a part of. Also, Wuthering Waves is doing extremely well, is reaching #1 in US Steam bestsellers and #1 in JP. Oh, that's one. Oh. Yeah, it's beating Counter-Strike. Yeah, beating Counter-Strike 2 on Steam in terms of sales is really hard to do. I've already mentioned it before when I was covering the revenue before, but as we all know, you can buy keys in that game, open crates, and then get crazy weapon, gun, knife skins that cost a lot and then sell them on an after-game marketplace. So it literally has its own economy where people can make money, and Wuthering Waves, a gacha game where you can't sell your was on top of it for a short period of time. That's kind of crazy, right? And so you're seeing over here, none of the information seems to be lining up with what we're seeing over here. Grok is constantly saying there's misinfo. Yeah, they're answering it themselves. And of course, the post got community noted. This thing has 1.2 million views. That is how far this misinformation, right, was able to spread. 1.2 million people saw it. And thankfully, only 1.8K people actually liked it. And you can see there's a massive amount of bookmarks. I'll probably make sure to bookmark this as well, because this is just another instance, and it's just another lie in the history of Wuthering Waves, where Hoyoverse players have tried to just doom post the game whenever it's doing good. And when you know that this is the type of doom posting that's going on, right, that's obviously fictitious, doesn't make a lot of sense, and it's happening during 3.1, which is one of the best times in the game's history, boy oh boy, is it very surprising at all that these Genshin Impact players who are currently playing with this pile of shit, I don't know why you would advertise the fact that you pulled 3 Columbinas when she looks like half a character with her animations. So maybe you had to pull 3 copies to make her feel like a single unit. That's also why I pay so high respects to MiHoYo as they tried their asses off to not be acquired by Tencent when Tencent made that attempt. Just look at them over here, right? Just look at them over here. Bro, are you ready for this? It turns out there's another piece of misinformation in that conversation. It's not just Wuthering Waves doing well, but it turns out the news regarding this, it's something that happened months ago. And they're trying to advertise old news like it's something devastating to the space. This is the 3rd time I've spoken about. Tencent acquiring 51% of Kuro shares isn't something new. It happened in late 2024. And as you can see, Wuthering Waves after November 2024, that's like right before 2.0 released. It's been an amazing game. In November 2024, Tencent acquired an additional 37% stake from Kuro Games. Kuro didn't even lose any of their shares in this transaction. Tencent bought the shares from somebody else, meaning that Tencent, one of the biggest investment companies in China with the best, I assume, investment analysts that do the best research, I assume that a bigger company is going to have a more qualified and like skilled team. That's just kind of like how I think logic works. Tencent was, in their infinite wisdom, right, decided to buy Kuro Games shares. This means Kuro held onto all of their existing shares, and another company was convinced by Tencent, we're going to give you a ton of cash. Can we buy your shares of Kuro Games? And that's what occurred, because that means Tencent the company that creates some of the biggest and the highest performing games, both revenue-wise and satisfaction-wise, right? They wanted more. That means they believed in Wuthering Waves. That means they believed it was worth it, and Kuro didn't lose anything. All they got was a bigger share from Tencent, and that likely means they gained. Do you know why? Because going from comparing, right, 48.6 to 51.4, that's not enough ownership for Tencent to have, like, full capability to just do whatever they want. Because you know why? Do you want to know why they can't just do whatever they want? Because if they did, do you think the Wuthering Waves spending event would be so fucking bad? Do you think the Wuthering Waves spending event would be one of the worst goddamn things in the space, right? Let me just see over here. Bro made like a goddamn spreadsheet, bro. Look at this. Polls per dollar. Polls? Bro, look at the polls per dollar of this spending event. Let me just show this shit to you, bro. I'm sorry. Polls per dollar. 3.75, 1.43, like 0.19. Bro, it's like, what? You just know it's a scam. Yeah, like, everything looks like a scam. What the f***? Huh? Do you think Tencent would have made the spending event this bad if they had, like, full vesting, super greedy controls? I don't think so, bro. I think they recognize that the monetization model of Wuthering Waves works. Being more generous than Hoyoverse and giving more for what people are spending is a strategy, right? That does seem like you're investing a lot more, but it just means that people are way more likely to actually, like, play and pull because they feel like they're getting great value. And the thing is, guys, the crazy fucking thing is that we've actually already done the math. We have Kuki Kaze over here, an Arknights creator who did the math because of the Doom posting, or really the justified criticism of Enfield's Gacha system. Do you want to know why? Because we've actually seen how, based off a thesis and a code that he wrote, guys, and you can see that this motherfucker, right, he got like the whole goddamn Word docky out. He got like a goddamn code to write things. We should look at this. Hoyoverse compared to Wuthering Waves, Arknights Enfield, average pulls to the first rate up. Wuthering Waves is literally the lowest. Wuthering Waves, the game that is supposed to be ruined by Tencent's greed and is constantly talked about as being ruined, right, by Tencent's greed. Remember, all we need to see are all those posts, right? All we need to see are all these posts of people talking about it. That's all they're doing. Right? Remember these ones over here? Remember these ones from these Gensino Impact players over here? They're just saying the end is near, Wuthering Waves players. Tencent has acquired you. Then why is it under those conditions and with those apparent restrictions, right? We see that in this thesis paper by an Arknight CC, this guy doesn't even play WuWa, or like not like a lot as like a main channel game, right? He's saying WuWa is better. He has no reason to, no agenda. It's a lower number of polls to get the first rate up 5-star. That's all it is. Literally, Wuthering Waves is the most free-to-play friendly game in the space. And you can even see down here, right, weapon banner pulls. Wuthering Waves is also still the lowest on the weapon banner too. I don't care about Tencent at all if this is what happens when Tencent runs a game or Tencent influences a game. Why do I care when it's the most free-to-play friendly out of all of these? And you want to know why I'm saying it's still free-to-play friendly even when you look at the 95th percentile? Arknights Enfield is capped at 120, right? But you can lose an infinite number of 50-50s. Wuthering Waves is capped at, or is at 139 on average to lose two 50-50s, right? Wuthering Waves has pity carryover, Enfield doesn't. I would rather have a 139 95th percentile plus pity carryover than a 120 cap with no pity carryover. That's my take. I'd rather have this with pity carryover so I don't lose all the pulls I've invested in a banner like Enfield than have a 120 that's 19 less and no pity carryover. That's a fact. So, for 99% of players that don't like getting by no pity carryover, Wuthering Waves is more free-to-play friendly. It is what it is. More budget-friendly, too. Because guess what you also have, guys? Guess what you also have in Wuthering Waves that nobody ever talks about anymore? Whenever they're talking about free-to-play friendliness. Huh, what's this shit, brother? Oh, what does this do? Oh, it lets you just buy sequence nodes from the shop? You can just buy the character dupes? Nobody ever talks about this when they're talking about free-to-play friendliness or polls. It's insane. I don't get it. Because, of course, they're always trying to obfuscate. How are we out here talking about how evil Tencent is when this is what is in the Tencent game? that no other gacha like has this. How are we out here grandstanding about how evil and greedy Tencent's gonna be? I don't get it anymore. So hopefully, right, we can avoid these posts that are obviously just filled with a shit ton of fucking misinfo, but of course get a lot of engagement and a lot of views because they're just lying. It's lying. And this is unfortunately a lie that got viewed 1.2 million goddamn times. That's a lot. But of course, that also means that there's going to be a lot of people that think about this one. And that also means we're going to be able to farm it for a little bit. I made a video 1 year ago talking about it, and it's ironic. I call it the worst community in gacha gaming. That's because, guess what they did on r/gacha gaming? Or really, r/Hoyo gaming. Exactly what this is. Doom posting the Tencent relationship. Guys, has Wuthering Waves gotten more or less free-to-play friendly since time has gone on? I think it's, low-key, it's either gotten the same or gotten better. It's either gotten the same or gotten more generous over time. 1 year ago. And by the way, this was before I started... This was before I started streaming heavily, bro. This was one of my first stream mods ever uploaded, bro. Yeah, goddamn, time does fly. Time does fly. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, if you want to watch this one, we'll link it in the description, but it covers the exact same details of this, goes more in depth, and of course, dispels even more of the misinfo. But that's what it is over here. And just so you all know, ladies and gentlemen, for the person making this post, right, the Gacha giveaway guy, apparently they didn't try WuWa because it's related to Tencent, but they play Nikkei a lot, which is also published by Tencent. So the reason that they kind of gave over here for the grandstanding of why they don't play WuWa is, well, looks like they gotta go quit Nikkei. Yeah, they gotta go quit Nikkei too, because that would be hypocritical of them. So you can just send your account details to me. I'll take it on because, yeah, right, you want to get rid of it, right? You want to get rid of it, right? After this, I assume, unless you're just lying. Anyways, let's keep moving on. You can add this to the fake news. What is this one?
For this stream, guys, IP for purely on one IP for this stream, guys. Come on, let's try and not get me fired. Now, Kuro, chill about that. Well, they might be, they might not be. I've not worked with them too many times, so maybe they'll hit me up after the stream and be like, hey, future streams, don't worry about it. But I'm gonna be a professional and good content creator, and I'm just going to assume that it is the same kind of expectations as every other client that I work with for this stream. It was a little weird, right? It was a little weird because I'm used to having.
Oh, okay. Okay. The title is Giga has never worked with a sponsor this base before. All right, 145. Let's see it.
The document just said, "Enjoy the game." They didn't even give me a tracking link. They didn't even give me a fucking link to put in chat. I was like,
what the? Part of me thinks that's them kind of not being that good at their job. I feel like they should give him a little bit more than that. Like, at least a tracking link. Like, I feel like they should have at least given him a tracking link. But the other thing is that I think they just wanted him to stream the story because they knew that he was going to like it. Because Giguk is like a very big, like, story sort of person. So, like, he is known as, like, the story raider guy. So it's probably like they just wanted him to give a take on their story, and that's it. Hey, that's confidence, right? And also, that doesn't really seem like something Tencent would do. So I feel like this just, again, right, this really calls into the way of management that happens in Kuro Games. And it's obvious, I don't think that Tencent is this company that is like, it's like putting their roots into the soil and like corrupting everything. I don't think that's what's going on. And hopefully all of the evidence, all the proof, all of that, it's made that a lot more clear. So, yeah. Let me know what you all thought about this situation, about this breakdown, of course, the misinfo. And honestly, what you think of Wuthering Waves in the year that we've had since that actual announcement. Peace out.